Welcome to the SwimSwam podcast. I'm your host, Coleman Hodges. Joining me today, we've got a very special guest. He won the 200 free at the SEC championships. He came second in the 500 and the 1650. Today, we have the pleasure of sitting down with Georgia freshman Jake Magahey. Jake, what's up, man?
What's up? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's get right into it. You were 132.2 in the 200 free. 406.7 in the 500 free, 14.24.9 in the 1650. That 500 free number two puts you at number two performer all time behind the guy you got second to, Kieran Smith. What did you think of these swims this weekend?
I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little surprised with some of them. I think after the 500, my other two swims weren't as surprising, but honestly, the 500 did. I don't want to say it shocked me because I think part of me knew I could do that. It's just being able to execute a race like that is hard. And so the fact I was able to do it relatively easier than I thought was awesome. And after that, there's a great picture of me after the race with my hand on my head, because that's literally my natural reaction. Was my hand was on my head because I just couldn't believe that I just went that. So yeah, I mean, it was a great meet, probably the best meet I've ever had, and I don't know, it's good because I have been I've been working really hard, and this is all I can really say about that. And I knew I would be fast. I did not know I was going to be that fast. So
we all thought from the outside looking in, Kieran wasn't going to be that fast, right?
Yeah.
And he went out super fast, 135.7 to the feet at the 200, I'm pretty sure. And then if you watch the race video, you just start kind of closing the gap, that next 200. What was your race plan heading into that? And can you take us through how that race played out for you?
Well, I remember before I knew I could be 408. I usually have a pretty good grasp on what I can do in the pool, and 408 was kind of the number in my head going into the race, which I would have been thrilled with if I went that. And I knew Kieran was going to be close to his American record. I actually talked to some of the Florida dudes that morning, and they're like, yeah, he's going to be fast. And so I was like, all right, I didn't want to try to race him because I knew if I did that, I mean, if I was at 135, I don't think I would have gone as fast as I did. So I kind of just want to swim my own race. So, and that's how I usually do swimming. For the first half of the race, I kind of try to go as, I don't want to say easy, but try to take myself out as easy as possible, because it's a lot easier coming back hard than it is going out hard, in my opinion. So really, I didn't even realize I was catching him until probably the last 75, because I was so into my own race, and I think I started out splitting him around the 300, 350. Around that's when I really started getting ground, and I didn't even really notice it until the last 75, and that's when I really started turning it up. And that makes me excited because I really was swimming my own race for the majority of that race. And I don't know, I'm excited to see where I can go when I'm with the confidence I have now.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, I mean, from there, like you said, the 200 and the mile kind of fell in line with your expectations after that swim. But can you still talk to me about those races? And, you won the 200 as a freshman, and then again, behind the American record holder again in the 1650. How did those races play out for you?
The 200 was a lot of fun. I knew after we saw Kieran wasn't swimming it, it kind of knew that, I think everybody in the field kind of knew it was wide open. Like, any of those guys could have won it. Brooks could have won it. Mark could have won it. Trey could have won it. I think we all knew that, and it really could have gone either way. But after that 500, I was like, I think this, I remember the morning after, what morning was it? When was it? Thursday. It was Thursday morning. And I felt pretty much 100% still. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to rip tonight. And it was a great race. That was one of the most fun races I've had. So that was a great race. And then the mile hurt a little bit more than I thought it would. I was about I like I would say I thought I usually take it the mile out pretty easy. Like it's pretty similar to my 500. I'll try to take it out as easy as possible so I can save as much energy at the end. Um, but around like the 800, I just started hurting, and I thought I was going to go like 15 minutes. That's what the race was like. But I come back and I look at my splits, and I actually was holding pretty much the same 52s the entire race. I'm pretty sure I was holding 52s the entire race, and I was shocked to see 14:24, if I'm being honest. But but I mean, after the fact, I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm not very surprised I went that, but during the race, it was surprising.
Yeah, I mean, you aware that you were in a very solid second. You know, obviously you had
Yeah.
Bobby who was way out in front, and then I mean, so you were aware that you were in second no matter the
Mhm.
time.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was like, and I don't know. I'll be honest. It stinks to admit, but when you're in that position and you're next to, I mean, Bobby Fink's he's just a beast. When he started really gaining on me, and then I started really hurting, there's kind of a point where I'm like, I'm doing the best I can right now, and we're just gonna swim this, try to finish this race the best I can. And so that's basically what I did, and I don't know. It was a good race. I'm really happy with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. And so the SEC Conference Championship is one of the most exciting meets I've ever been to, hands down. I think a lot of people who compete in it say it's their favorite meet of any meet. Um, and obviously this year it looked a little different. It wasn't a combined men's and women's, but for your first SEC championships, you know, which is what was the experience and the energy like?
Oh, it was so much. It was so much fun. The most fun I've had at a swim meet. Just and a lot of that is due because we have a great team here. We really, I think, according to our Instagram, UJ, some Instagram said, I think it said we scored the fourth most points out of any team like ever at SECs, which by that metric, I think it's pretty safe to say that's pretty much means we had the fourth best performance like ever. Um, and going into the meet, I mean, I don't think it's any surprise we did want to win it. And we didn't get done because Florida just had an outstanding meet. Like every morning we had, I don't think there was a morning. I think the first morning was probably our weakest morning, but we still had great swims all around every morning. But Florida just was able to get one more, or really, yeah, just like one more, like two more than us a lot of times. And I don't know, it was a lot of fun. It was a big roller coaster because we were just trying to claw our way back into it, and we never gave up, which I absolutely love. Like we gave up our last night, especially when it wasn't looking too good for us. Everybody just kept fighting, and that two back a final was crazy. We had four dudes in it, and just having that like kind of team atmosphere is something I've experienced, but not to this level, and so it makes me really excited for the next couple of years. So, yeah.
Heading into this meet, I certainly didn't have you guys as a title contender in on paper, but it was really fun to watch, especially like you said that last final session, because at one point I think it was after the 100 is either after the tuner back or the 100 free, you guys were in the lead
Yeah,
by a small
I think it's
margin.
200 back. We yeah, we kind of I remember we saw that, and I think we all knew like based on the seeding that Florida would pull ahead after that, but I mean it was pretty cool to see like at least at one point we did have the lead. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it's always fun to have a team battle, even if it's not the closest team battle. You know, you guys were definitely still in it, and everyone kind of had to execute in order for Florida to win, and so it
Yeah.
made that last final session really exciting. Let's talk about just the season you've had leading up to this. You said you've put in a lot of hard work. What has training at Georgia been like for you as a freshman?
Um it's been it actually is a little bit of a change up from what I've used to do. I would do I would call my training back at Atlanta really high volume and high intensity. So really just doing really long stuff. on a fast pace, usually for like a long time, and usually it's like pretty similar. Here's a little bit different in that I'm not really sure how to describe it. I would say one thing we do is we do a lot of hundreds pace. We probably do a hundreds pace set that's like, let's see, like 32 100s pace, and then like you well, not all of them will be paced, but by 8. So you go like 8 plus like 3, 8 plus 2, 8 plus 1, and 8 on pace. And they usually be on like on 110. That's just like, and we do like different variations of sets like that. And I think that stuff has really helped, because that's when we would do those, some of the sets I'd be splitting like 49s. And so that's really where I started to think like I could go 406, 405, because that's what that 49s is. That's the pace for it. But I don't know. I think that's the main difference is we're doing a lot more like intensive fast stuff, if that makes sense. I'm not really sure how to describe it. I can't really put it into words, but it's like going fast all the time. Really, it's a good way to put it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And that was going to be my follow up, was that, in that 500 where you went 406, you're averaging 49s. And I was going to ask, so were you holding 49s on those hundreds? But you answered my question. And so that seems to add up. And in terms of just the team environment at Georgia, you said you guys, have a good energy, have a good cohesion going. Was that expected for you coming in, or tell me about as the season, how has the team energy progressed?
It really was from the start. We have probably the best seniors. I mean, of course I'm biased, but I think we have the best seniors in the country. They really, coming into this year, it was me, Luca, and Connor were the 3 freshmen. And we ended up getting 2 more recently that came in January, Wesley and Tommy Lee. But at the beginning of the year, it was just 3 freshmen. So we were actually able to like kind of develop good relationships with our seniors, and they were very inclusive of us. And so like, kind of like this team, like we all felt like we were part of a group. Like I look at everybody on this team, and I think they all fit, and add something to it, which I think is not true for a lot of teams, which I don't necessarily think is an awful thing. I mean, that just sometimes happens, but I think that's what we do. We do a really good job of is everybody has fits into their group. And I think the inclusiveness at the beginning of the year really helped that. So, yeah.
It makes total sense. And it's nice to get that context. So SEC, your first SEC champs is in the books. Looking forward to NCAAs. Do you have any thoughts? I mean, are you excited, nervous? What are the next few weeks going to look like for you?
I don't know. I'm definitely excited. I'm probably more excited about it now than I was before SECs, because I mean it's SECs is a big meet. I don't know if people would admit that, or some people probably wouldn't admit that, or just look ahead like wouldn't admit that their conference is a big meet as well as NCAAs. But I would put them relatively on the same level. So I kind of just look at what's in front of me. So going in SECs, I was pretty much only thinking about SECs, but now that that's past us, NCAAs, I'm really excited for it. And I'm glad I kind of got that refocus into looking onto it. And I definitely think I changed a little bit of my expectations of what I want to do after this meet. So, yeah.
What are you looking to do heading into NCAAs?
I don't know if I usually keep all that to myself. I like to kind of keep it on the wraps, but just kind of maintain what I did from SECs is a good way to put it.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that. Jake, I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk with me. I know you had a late flight back to Georgia last night, but it was great catching up. Any parting thoughts before we sign off today?
Really not much. I just want to, I guess a good thing to say is shout out to Kieran and Bobby and really the whole Florida team for having such a great meet. Kieran and Bobby were super respectful, nice to me, and they really always have been. Trey Freeman too. I've known him for a while. And they're super gracious winners. And here at Georgia, I think we have a lot of respect for them, even though, we are supposed to be rivals. So I just wanted to say that because I think it's important that we, you know, sportsmanship. So yeah.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.